We are the Super Vader 400, the most destructive force in all of the YouTube today. Mortal Kombat! I first got into Mortal Kombat in 1996 when I played Mortal Kombat 3 and its update, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And ever since then, I've been a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat series. I first saw Mortal Kombat, the movie, in 1997 when I went to the video store one day and I saw it on the shelf and I was like, whoa, there's a Mortal Kombat movie? How come I did not know about this? And when I went home and watched it, I thought it was awesome, and I've been a huge fan of this movie ever since. The plot of this movie is three warriors led by the Thunder God Raiden are summoned to a tournament called Mortal Kombat to defend their realm from the realm to defend the realm of Earth from another realm called Outworld, led by the Emperor and Shang Tsung. This is of course based on the very first Mortal Kombat game, but it also features stages and scenes and elements from the second, such as Reptile's moves. In Mortal Kombat 1, Reptile did not have his own moveset. He was just a green version of Scorpion and Sub-Zero. He didn't get his moves and his backstory until 2. Liu Kang's bicycle kick, which debuted in Mortal Kombat 2, is also seen here, and so is his temple. The main characters are Liu Kang, a Shaolin monk who was chosen and wants to enter the tournament to avenge his brother Chan, who was killed by Shang Tsung. The second participant is Johnny Cage, who's a cocky Hollywood movie actor who wants to prove to his critics that he's not a fake. The third is a woman named Sonya Blade, who is a CSI agent who wants to apprehend a thief and criminal called Kano, who of course killed her partner. So she also wants revenge. And like I said before, they're led by Raiden, the god of all thunder and lightning. The bad guys are Scorpion, a fire-breathing ninja from hell who belongs to a clan called the Shiryu. Sub-Zero, a ninja who belongs to a clan called the Lin Kuei, who of course can use ice. And the third participant is Reptile, a guy who belongs to a race called the Raptors, which looks like a hybrid of a lizard and a dinosaur he disguises himself as a human. He of course is also Shang Tsung's personal protector, and he's also Kitana's personal protector. Kitana's a mysterious 10,000-year-old woman who also aids our heroes against the threats of Outworld. Then there's Kano, a underground crime boss who's leader of a group called the Black Dragon. He of course killed Sonya's partner. He has a cool metal piece on his eye and is good with knives and weaponry. Then the main bad guy, the boss, is Shang Tsung, a demon sorcerer who can steal souls and perform other supernatural feats. Him and his warriors him and his warriors have won have won have won 9 Mortal Kombats. If they win 10, they can, of course, him and the Emperor can invade Outworld. Outworld. Like I said before, this movie was awesome. I love the special effects. The special effects, in my opinion, still hold up today, despite this movie supposedly being released almost 16 years ago. The special effects. I love the martial arts. The fight choreography is good. I especially love the fight between Scorpion and Johnny Cage. I like when Scorpion does his signet when Johnny Cage is walking in the forest, then he stares, then he meets Scorpion from the other side, then Scorpion does his "get over here," and the snake chases Johnny Cage all over the forest, and Johnny Cage runs into Scorpion, and they go to Scorpion's lair, and Scorpion and Johnny Cage, he's looking for Scorpion. Then behind him, Scorpion says, "Welcome," and then they start fighting. And I like when Johnny Cage kicked the when Scorpion. Then like when the fight got taken to the ground, Scorpion takes off his mask and reveals that he's a skeleton. Then his head starts burning up just like Ghost Rider, and then he blows fire at Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage just cuts him up. Scorpion blows up, and Johnny Cage leaves his autograph there, which is his friendship fatality. I also love the fight between Reptile and Liu Kang. I like the beginning. Reptile is all cool with his martial arts moves. I love the way when Liu Kang grabs him in his lizard form from the statue, then throws him into the statue. Then I like when the statue transforms into Reptile, and the Emperor quietly says, "Reptile." Then Reptile jumps, hits a flip, and then him and Liu Kang just start fighting. Reptile controls most of the fight. Then Liu Kang starts getting the upper hand, and Liu Kang finishes him off with the bicycle kick. And then of course, I love the final fight between Shang Tsung and Liu Kang. I like the way it starts off when the Emperor said with the theme song. It says, "Test your might," and then they engage in a brief combat. And I like when they're at the top after Liu Kang starts overwhelming Shang Tsung. Liu Kang tells Shang Tsung to surrender, and Shang Tsung says, "Never! Die, 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 die." And after several punches, Liu Kang gives him a fireball to finish off Shang Tsung. I also love the actors in here. You have Christopher Lambert as Raiden. Christopher Lambert, he was famous in The Highlander, and he's just as awesome here. Robin Shell, I think he's been in a lot of video game movies and a lot of different movies, but I think the Mortal Kombat movies are amongst his best role. I also liked his role as Gin in the latest Street Fighter movie. Bridget Nelson as Sonya, she totally reminds me of the Sonya from Mortal Kombat 1 and 4. So she was also awesome in this film. Lyndon Ashby, I thought he captured Johnny Cage's character personally. He looks like Johnny Cage. He acts like him. He really was Johnny Cage. I love Goro too. I love how they actually put a human inside. I love how Goro was actually human and not CGI, making him more lifelike in this film. I wish his fight with Johnny Cage was a little bit longer. I mean that fight was over too fast. That fight was over too fast, considering how hard he is to beat in the first Mortal Kombat game. And also I like and of course all the stuntmen and martial artists were good as Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Reptile respectively. And I also love Trevor Goddard the late great Trevor Goddard as Kano. He was awesome. His portrayal of Kano was so awesome that the producers of Mortal Kombat changed his portrayal from changed Kano from a Japanese American to an Australian in the games. That's how good his portrayal was. Well, that was Mortal Kombat. I love this movie. I think it's I think it's still to this day probably the best video game adaptation ever. Most video game adaptations are, my opinion, pretty good, but have nothing to do with their video games. The only thing I didn't like about this film was that Reptile and Sub-Zero and Scorpion were just generic henchmen. They have much bigger roles in the video games. Well, that concludes this review. Like I said before, this movie was awesome. And yeah, goodbye.